Welcome, friends. Today, let's journey back in time to discover the incredible story of George I, the very first king of the United Kingdom. Picture this, it's the early 18th century and England and Scotland decide to join forces. They choose George I from Germany as their leader, and he becomes the first king of this united land. George I, originally from Germany, arrives in England ready to lead even though English wasn't his strongest language. In 1714, George I becomes king, marking the start of the Georgian Era, a period known for its richness and big changes. Despite not being fluent in English, George I steps up as a leader, taking on the responsibility of ruling this newly united kingdom. The Georgian Era is like a special chapter in history, and George I is the one who kicks it off. Leading the United Kingdom isn't easy, and George I faces challenges like the Jacobite Rebellion, where some people aren't happy with him being king. However, George I handles the tough times with strength and wisdom, proving he's a capable leader. Even though George I is the King of England, he spends a lot of time back in Germany. It's like having a king who travels a bit. Why does George I matter? Well, he's like the grandfather of all the kings and queens who come after him in the United Kingdom. George I's time as king sets the stage for many leaders to follow, shaping the history and identity of the United Kingdom. George I isn't just a king, he's a trailblazer, figuring out how to lead in a new place with different languages and ways of doing things. His legacy, or the impact he leaves behind, is still felt today. George I helps make the United Kingdom what it is. Even though he doesn't speak perfect English, George I does important things. He helps create a kind of leadership that we still have today. The Georgian Era, starting with George I, is like a special time that changes how the country is run, not just for then but for the future too. George I shows that leaders need to be strong and smart, but also flexible and adaptable, especially when faced with new challenges. Whether you know a lot about history or just a little, George I's story is interesting because it's about a guy from another place learning how to be a leader in a new land. Let's give a big nod to George I, the first king of the United Kingdom, for being a brave leader in a time of change. Thanks for joining us on this adventure into George I's life. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more easy-to-understand history explorations.